Every great creative work stands on the shoulders of giants. Welcome to RetroInspection, where we examine and find out where the things we love today came from.
What Dickens did in both England and America was to bring the idea that was in the Gospels, that was in the Christian tradition of charity and love for your fellow man, that may have been lacking in their other idea and celebration that had gone before Christmas. I think he really popularized that and made Christmas what it is today in both of our countries and maybe across the world. I'm certainly across the English speaking world.
Yeah. I'm listening. That made me think about something.
I'm checking my notes. Well, listen. The idea of a feast of Christmas, that's huge. That was not done in America as it was in this book until this book. For many of the people who lived in America, I think Merry Christmas was not even a popular saying at the time, and it was popularized by this book, right?
Sort of. Well, at least I'm looking per the Wikipedia entry for A Christmas Carol. The phrase Merry Christmas had been around for many years. The earliest known written use was in a letter in 1534. Okay, but Dickens' use of the phrase in A Christmas Carol popularized it among the Victorian public, along with this rejoinder, Humbug. But something I was just looking at is Clement Moore wrote "'Twas the Night Before Christmas, a Visit from St. Nicholas," 1822. So is not mentioned in this story at all, but he actually predates this work by 21 years.
Oh.
So as a figure of Christmas, perhaps.
But Bah Humbug came from.
I mean, that was just a thing people said in Victorian England in general, but as a specific rejoinder to Merry Christmas.
So he took that out of the popular culture, put it in the book. Yeah. And really, well, you know what? This is probably his clever way of chastising his fellow Victorians for their frugality and acceptance of poverty. Bah Humbug. What an ugly word. What an ugly phrase.
Well, apparently the word humbug appeared. There's a whole Wikipedia entry for that in itself, and it's talking about it. It arises in the mid 1700s, so that phrase, or at least the word humbug, is probably about 100 years old by the time it shows up. It is recorded in an 1840 dictionary, apparently, as a nautical phrase. So it may have been like a mild profanity, I suppose, or a mild of some kind, or mild enough to be for public prints, But
when you think about this book, aside from these other long-lasting inspirations and expressions of it, I think the real change for Christmas for a vast number of people was the idea that Christmas was about generosity and giving of yourself, not just of a gift as a part of a ritual or of a tradition, but really giving a gift because it was of you. It was your expression of love for that other human being. And it was so appropriate for the time of Christmas, and quite poignant coming from a man who suffered so much in his own, especially early life, where he probably learned early on what generosity meant to him from others, and what generosity meant when he gave it to others. His charities and the things that he did personally to help those people who needed help in his time. So listen,
it is probably not accidental that the theme of separating the child from the family throughout it for its child, that kid's childhood, is also something suffered by Charles Foster Kane, and that doesn't really feel like a coincidence. Just I think in the case of Kane, it's just general family poverty. They basically sell the kid, whereas Scrooge is separated because his father's a drunkard. And
that's right.
That's when he gets sent to the crap ass boarding school. Yeah.
Like, subscribe, repost, share everywhere. To see what else we're up to, visit xynobooks.com, xenobooks.com.